So what did we watch?
Batman versus Superman.
I'm wearing a Batman shirt too. I have a Batman ring. I have a Wonder Woman thing. I have a Wonder Woman earring.
Me too. I have a Wonder Woman earring.
So
Does this need to be on?
no, it doesn't.
That's not bad.
All right, we got we're at.
Yeah, we're in line of Jack in the Box. It's taking a while.
Okay.
So, let's start with no spoilers yet. But what did you think of the movie?
I loved it.
You loved it?
But this is coming from so I've never watched. I don't follow the movies, and I haven't watched the other. I know that I'm just saying that's where I'm coming from. So I don't. I mean, there's people out there that don't watch. I don't know, but I'm one of. I haven't watched everything. I mean, I'm a big fan of the superheroes and stuff. Wonder Woman is my fave, and when I was that's her, I can tell because she's wearing gold. I was that's her. She's
Red
wearing her
gold.
colors. She's working it. I was yes. But yeah, I loved it though. I mean it was a lot. It was really long, but I think it was good.
Me, I'm a little more critical of it. I'd say it was pretty good. I was satisfied with it. I think the first half was a little slow because they had to set up a lot.
Yeah, took me a while to get into it.
And there was a lot of cuts back and forth. Almost felt like a very jagged montage that would just jump in and out of all these random scenes, and that was a little that got me feeling a little sleepy, I'll have to admit.
We're gonna have to pause this.
Yeah, we'll probably pause the video in
Alright.
a second. But,
We're getting food, so.
But I did like what they were going for. It just felt very Watchmen-y, Zack Snyder. So, did you watch Watchmen?
No. That's where I'm coming from. I'm just saying.
300-y, maybe a little bit. Just the whole video style, art style, cinematography is very similar. All right, let's pause.
We'll be right back. All right, we have resumed. Many hours later. Just kidding.
Okay, so where were we?
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Let's see. What were the things? Did we talk about what we liked about it already?
Yeah. Well, a little bit. We were just kind of getting into it, and I was saying where I was coming from with the movie, that I don't watch many. I don't watch the superhero movies. Well, the only one that would make sense to watch with it is the previous Superman movie, right?
I think this showed what Marvel did right when it came to the Avengers. That they didn't start out with the Avengers movie. They started out with Iron Man, and then Captain America, the first Avenger, and then Thor.
So giving it in pieces,
They
and
kind of led up to the whole Avengers assemble.
it's the magic of marketing,
And that's what made Avengers work, is that they didn't have to worry about all that setup. And honestly, this movie started with Batman's parents dying, and I'm do I really have to see the Waynes die again? I've seen that scene so many times, but it worked for the film. There's a payoff to it, later on, and plus someone like Alexa, who hasn't watched the other films, I guess, it helped set it up for her too.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I knew that.
I know, but there are some people who probably have never seen that scene.
That's just funny.
Before.
It's at first Batman and Superman are put against each other, and they're oh, we're gonna be best friends because of this reason. Well,
Okay, well, let's get into spoilers now.
oh no, sorry.
What?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Okay, the thing that I found so fascinating about this film is is how it tackles the concept, and almost a little too much, but it almost came off as like slapping you across the face with it. It tackles the concept of atheism and religion.
Oh yeah.
And like specifically like Christianity and the whole messianic
Making Superman like a
illusions.
god.
Yeah, they're talking about how Superman,
Because he's
Superman
not
is
human.
our savior, but he's a god, and like it's like Jesse Eisenberg.
I loved his character.
Yeah. So Superman
Even though
in
he's
this
a bad guy.
Superman in this movie is basically Jesus. And Jesse Eisenberg in this movie is basically like the quintessential modern day atheist. And like most atheists are basically what Jesse Eisenberg is in this film, where it's like there are these young teenagers who are like slightly entitled. So Jesse Eisenberg is the quintessential atheist in this film.
I really liked how he did that character.
Yeah,
like,
well, he wants to prove that he can kill a god. Like he can, like the world is better off without this Messiah. And what I thought was really interesting was at the very end scene, and here's the spoiler for the end for those who you've been warned. Superman dies at the hands of Doomsday, or Killer Croc / Doomsday.
okay.
And the scene where Superman dies plays out almost like an artistic scene of like the crucifixion, where there's a famous painting. I
think that's why it came out around Easter.
Sure. Yeah, and there's a famous painting where you see I believe it's the Roman guards are lowering Jesus from the cross by like a cloth, and you see Mary crying and Mary Magdalene. In this movie, Batman is basically like a Roman guard, I guess, where it's like he was the one, and Superman was lashed. He had a cut across his face from Batman. So Batman was basically like the Roman guard who like lashed Jesus.
Wow, this is getting really hardcore.
Yeah, and then
should just preach on Sunday. He's like, oh, that's it. Like, oh, I'm just gonna not kill you then because of that. I was like, all right.
And in that scene where Superman is like dead, you actually see, if you look up to the top left corner, you'll see a cross. So, I mean, it's obviously very deliberate. They really wanted this whole messianic Jesus illusion, whatever, I guess, is comparison to come across on screen.
Yeah.
And I think it happened really well. I don't think like people are going to find it offensive. I just think that that's just something that Superman's always been associated with. So I'm okay with them playing to that theme, I guess.
I just like Wonder Woman. Did I mention that already?
Yeah.
Cause like at first, like I saw her and I'm like, that's her. Like I can tell.
Right.
Cause she was rocking the Wonder Woman colors.
And I think the whole setup of the whole setup of the Justice League,
The Justice Buddies.
Yeah, the
I know, that
Friends.
got me hella excited too. Like I didn't know who they were, but I'm like, I liked it. Like I don't know, I got really like the whole time, like my jaw was just like and like I was like freaking out, like it's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Aquaman and so they set up Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash,
And Wonder Woman.
sure. Yeah,
Yay.
for Justice League. It might even include some more, but I'm looking forward to that.
Justice Buddies.
I do think though that one thing the Avengers did better is that they set it up so that you knew it was going somewhere even after the end of the Avengers movie, where you see, you know that humanity has been introduced to like this whole army of, I forget what they're called, the Thanos' people, or those guys on the speed bikes, those air hoverboards in Avengers. But at the end of this movie, Doomsday is completely taken out, and Batman's all like, "We're gonna have to get together to fight," and Wonder Woman's all like, "Why? Who are we supposed to fight?" or something like that, or "Why do you think we're going to have to fight?" And Batman's like, "Oh, I just have a feeling." Like that's so weak. Like, no, why couldn't they just lay some stronger foundations to expand on? Like, there was Lois Lane was chasing like this whole governmental conspiracy about like a bullet that they're manufacturing. I don't recall that going anywhere. I don't think that like led to anything substantial. It was just they were like, you just better drop it, and Lois Lane decided to drop it. I don't, like, do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, wasn't that set up by the Lex people?
The Lex people. So why were they trying to manufacture bullets then? I guess maybe they were trying to put kryptonite in these bullets, but I don't think I remember that being
Well, it's just that
explained.
The Lex people made their own. They just don't buy mainstream bullets. Like, they just do their own thing. I don't know.
I guess. I just wish that they set things up more. The movie ends with Lex Luthor in jail. There's no apparent like.
Yeah, I mean,
villain.
I don't even know much about his character either. I just know
Lex
like
Luthor,
Smallville.
Violet.
Yeah.
Really quick, let's talk about the Batman versus Superman fight scene, which I mean, everybody.
That was
like,
just.
That was like the set piece of the film.
I just felt like if that was like, I don't know, because there was just so much damage to both cities, and I didn't even know they were like right next to each other in the. But it's like
water. It's supposed to be like New York and New Jersey.
That's just like that's what always bothers me about these like superhero movies, because then it's like there's so much destruction on the city, and it's like their taxes must be so high because they have to pay for all these things.
That's why they tackled that in the very beginning
by like being in some deserted area.
Well, no, but like because in Man of Steel, that was the end battle in Man of Steel was the battle that we saw in the very beginning, but we saw it from Bruce Wayne's perspective.
Very like 9/11-y.
Yeah, and it was kind of like Bruce Wayne's perspective shows us like this is what happens to all the people who are helplessly victim to this destruction.
Yeah.
Like destroying all these buildings might look cool on camera, but there are actual people who die and get hurt and suffer from all this stuff.
And it's always like someone has to pay to get all those things fixed.
But to the Batman and Superman fight, it was interesting to see kind of like science versus just the force of nature, but Batman just looked so slow.
Yeah, and it was just because it seemed like, is his suit just making him clunkier? Like, it has to be a shield, but it also has to be light enough for you to move around. And if they were really tossing each other around, they were going through the roof of like a multi-story building, down to all the way down through walls. It's like the foundation would have been broken. Like that building would have like caved in on them if they were doing. Well,
technically did by the end of the film.
Yeah.
It caved in on top of Lois Lane anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his and Superman saves him because he has selective hearing.
Yeah, the fight scene was good. I guess it's just it was kind of predictable how it ended.
Yeah.
But I did like to see. I liked how how it played out. It felt very plausible.
Because there have been so many Batmans, and because I'm like a fan of Wonder Woman, not like a super huge hardcore, but like I liked what the actors did with those roles, like because some people I bet would like criticize it a lot, but for me, like, it was cool, and I was like super pumped.
Mm-hmm. So all right, let's finish this up. So what would you rate it?
give it a 9.7.
Ooh, wow, you really like this
I
movie.
think so.
Wow, I think that's the highest rating you've ever given a movie.
Yeah.
As far out of,
I know.
All right, I will give it the opposite. I will give it a 7.9.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Actually, the opposite.
Well,
would
that's
like
probably the
a
highest you.
1.3.
It's probably the highest you ever rated. I'm just kidding.
No, I gave like straight out of Compton like an 8 something.
No, okay, I don't know.
I gave 50 Shades of Grey a 10.
That's what Superman looks like. He looks like
50 Shades of Grey?
but
Kind of.
like thicker.
Kind of, I guess. And darker hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you throw glasses on and
Thicker
no one
wear.
knows it's him.
I'm just kidding.
Just in general.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch the first Superman movie because he's beautiful.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, wow.
Yeah, and they had to shoot scenes very carefully to make sure Ben Affleck didn't look taller than Henry Cavill, which he is by at least a foot.
Ah,
So
magic.
yeah.
That's funny. Well, cool.
All right.
Justice buddies.
All right, everybody.
Justice buddies unite.
Yeah. Dawn of Justice. Go see it if
We
you
are
haven't.
one.
Everybody, it's one of those films where it's like, yeah, it was pretty good, but you don't want to miss it.
We are one world.
Because it's a film setting up a lot of other films. There's a lot of potential for good there. Like, I think the next films to come, I'd like it a whole lot more than this one, even though I did still like this one. So, yep, it's worth your time.
It's worth your time.
All right, y'all.
Justice buddies
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Not all heroes wear capes. I don't know.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And use the hashtag. I'm just kidding. It's just for funsies. Bye.